Kids, good morning. It's the ass crack of dawn. And I want to talk to you about something really important today. Meanwhile, today's topic is my life. Who's in control? Who's in control? This is an important topic for everybody in everybody's life. Now, when you're a child and you're growing up, everything around affects you somehow. Now, for my generation, if you stepped out of line, you got your ass whooped. It definitely physically affected you. Um, Point blank, you just got your ass whooped. In public, in private, didn't matter. It was bam, and you knocked it off, or you kept getting your ass whooped, and that was all there was to it. It only took a couple times, unless you're really thick-headed, to get the message. In today's day and age, not so much. It's the lines and this timeout stuff. We can debate it all day. I personally think somebody needs their ass kicked once in a while. Worked for me. Anyhow, I mean, I don't know any different. And from what I see from the kids growing up, they have zero respect. So for each other and anybody else, they can't even communicate unless they're sitting there doing this. Now, who's in charge? We go through phases in life, and we get to a point of enlightenment, and everybody has it at a different time. Some never actually get it, where you're a victim, you allow others to have a lot of power, to make you feel good, or to bring you happiness, or to bring you sadness. You allow them, by their actions, to do all these things that have all this effect upon you. Now, that is your choice and your free will, obviously. But in the end of the day, they're really not doing that. You're allowing it. The same thing goes with people that think that they can control somebody else. Now, let's start with childhood, and I'm going to have a very honest conversation with you about childhood. Now, we all hear about, we are the world, we are the children, they're so innocent, they're so this, they're so that, blah, 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 blah. They are our future, yada, 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 yada. They're so, at 17 years old, they're still innocent. Yeah, okay. I can tell you, at 6 years old, I was consciously manipulating people, including my babysitters. That's who I started with. At 6 years old. So by the time you hit about 6, you wake up. You start to listen to your parents' conversations. You start to process things on a much more advanced level than people give you credit for. And as long as you have that innocence, or that appearance of innocence, you're all good. But you're not innocent. By the age of 6, you're starting to really wake up and realize things and process thoughts. And some of them are manipulative thoughts, how to get what you want. Truly. And then you spend the rest of your life doing that, getting what you want out of life. The facts. And so all this, like, when everybody gets all Disney-esque about stuff, it just makes my eyes roll up and I vomit in the back of my throat. Now, the idea that you could control someone is preposterous. You can't even control your pets. Unless, of course, you put them in a cage, which is like putting somebody in jail. But even then, you really can't. You can only control them to so much of an extent. I can't tell you how many times working at the airport, I opened up the belly door of an aircraft only to find a very pissed off dog that bit through his cage and now is ready to tear my head off. And did not like traveling very much. That happened many more times than once. So, like I said, you can only control people so much. Look inside prisons. We can't even keep drugs out of prisons. We can't even keep brutal acts of murder and everything else out of our prisons. We can't, because we can't control anyone. And the idea that you think you can is a joke. And parents with your kids, while you're legally obligated to them until the day they turn 18, are you really in control? Well, legally, yes, you can have them locked up. You can put them away, um, in mental hospitals or whatever. You can make them do things they don't want to do until they get an emancipation proclamation or something. But the day they turn 18, you have zero control. Maybe only by heart and purse strings, but those can be snipped really quickly. And I might add, many kids today really don't have that connection, and a lot of kids don't have that connection with their family. They're emotionally incapable of connecting. The only thing they can connect to is something that does this. So the fact that if they're not behaving the way you want them to, um, and you're all frustrated about it, you're allowing yourself to get frustrated about it. What business is it of yours? You had the child, yes. You did your best to raise it, yes. But once it turns 18, it's an adult. Leave it alone. And by the time it turns 6, if you haven't gained control over the situation, it's pretty much a downhill spiral till 18. If you look at any model of raising children, that's the case. So if you think you're going to control your parents in old age, or if you think you're going to control your spouse, or control your kids, or control your dog, or control your cat, or control anything besides yourself, you are wasting a whole lot of time on everything else besides yourself, because that's the only thing you can control is you. And if you allow people the power to control you with, let's say, emotions, he made me so mad. This made me so mad. That made me so mad. Now, we all have morals and we all have things that mean something to us, but we choose those. Now, I'm the first one that would, if somebody offends the very few morals that I have, because I have very few morals, I get pissed, just pissed, and I go off. And usually I jump on YouTube or Facebook, and I stand on my soapbox in my kitchen and scream and yell and carry on about whatever's pissing me off that day, or whatever's made me happy that day, or whatever. Because I can do that. I'm free to do that. But no one makes me do that. I mean, there's tons of things going on this earth that I don't necessarily agree with. But I don't run around letting it get to me. And as much as some of this sounds like, especially some of my rants online, sound like I'm really just indignant, chances are I'm not quite as indignant as you might think. I'm showing my disgust, but I'm not letting it rule my life. In other words, I'm not sitting in the corner just trembling, waiting to kill somebody. I'm not having a Jeffrey Dahmer moment or something where I'm plotting to, like slice somebody up and put them in my freezer because they did something or whatever. It's just that I want to make a point. So, in the final point here is you control your own self. And the faster you learn this lesson, the better off you're going to be and the better person you're going to be, because when you take away everyone else's power to control your emotions and stop blaming everybody else for your feelings and your ideas and your reactions, the better off you're going to be, because they're yours and you need to own them. And blaming someone else, while it might make you feel better, you're still responsible for your responses and your actions. And if you give people power to piss you off, you're responsible for that. So when you're sitting around feeling bad or miserable or guilty or whatever because somebody else did or said something, you're allowing yourself to do that. And then you ask yourself, how's this working out for me? Can I find something better to do besides be all pissed off, stomping around, doing something I have no control over? I can't fix you. You can't fix me. First of all, I don't want to be fixed. I just love the way I am already. I think I'm wonderful. I am just full of it. All of it. And I'm pretty much in control of my emotions. Even when I'm having like my mental issues, I know I'm having my mental issues and I'm in control to the extent I can be. I mean, the chemicals in my brain change, and therefore things happen that change. Like there's a physiological change that goes on, but I've learned to understand it, so that when a deep depression comes on, I know, okay, the little gland's been clicked, and it's going to take so many days for this to end. And so this is what I can expect for the next so many days. Or if I get like this really euphoria and or psychosis or whatever it is, I know I can see the signs and I say, okay, well, hold on tight and expect that this is going to happen for so long, or at least historically so long. It's harder actually with the euphoria and the psychosis to deal with than it is the depression. Because depression usually for me lasts, there's a determined length that it normally lasts. Within a few days I can tell how long and how deep. With the euphoria and the psychosis, it's anyone's guess. I haven't been able to jot down enough information to really track it yet, but I'm working on it. We'll see what happens. But that's, again, my responsibility to take care of me and know about me and know how I react. I know when I eat certain foods what's going to happen. I know when I drink certain things what's going to happen. I know all of these things because I spend time on the one thing I can control. Me. I can't control you. I can control me. Which is why, let's say, for example, someone comes over and they're like inappropriate. Now, I can be really nasty. Trust me. I can be, I mean, I'm a very sweet person. I'm very laid back in my personal life. If you have me in a work situation, I'm very intimidating, very rough, very perfectionist, very, and just a complete asshole. But I also have this other side of me, which doesn't come out very often. I just think about it. And that's kind of like, I call it my Hannibal Lecter side. I have really gruesome thoughts. And I have really gruesome plans just in case something happens. And, like somebody breaks in my house. So being a massage therapist, I have studied the human body and anatomy very carefully. And I have lots and lots of very graphic detailed books about every ligament, every muscle, everything in the body. And I have sat and pondered how to disable someone in the most quick, effective, and painful way possible, and then how to basically slice them and dice them up for maximum effect so that it makes even the most senior cop look just and gives them horrible nightmares for the rest of their life. So, I mean, there is that side of me. I keep it well contained, and fortunately nobody's broken in my house to try me out on this. But there is that side of me, and it takes a lot to get me upset. But like surprising me by breaking in my house would not be one of those things you'd want to do. Because when you break into a madman's house, he's going to go mad. Yeah. So, just what it is. But I'm in control of that. I know those things. I know those things about me. If you're self-aware and you're self-complete, then you don't need everybody else to approve of you or appreciate you or anything else. You just appreciate yourself. You take responsibility for yourself and you keep control of your own emotions because you can't control anybody else's. And if you can keep yourself centered, chances are you're going to have best luck with other people, as opposed to being totally out of control and a total victim and flailing all around, seemingly, blaming everyone for everything without any cause whatsoever. People at the end of the day go, really? Hot, sticky mess. Gotta go. See you later. Bye-bye. That's just the truth. So pull it together, kids. Pull it together. Focus on yourself first. When you get all that mess done, then you have time to listen to somebody else. See you soon.